This is where we hang them, isn't it? They broke into the police station, tried to burn the register so the Germans wouldn't know which kids to take. We didn't want the Germans to be angry, did we? We were so scared, or maybe just so tired, so we hanged them to encourage the others. I wonder if we'd made the Germans take the kids by force instead of bringing them down to the station singing London Bridge, if things would be different now.
Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in. I wanted to do a short video today to discuss We Happy Few, a new game release that has proven to be rather controversial, and that's unfortunate because this is a game that for many years now has held a lot of potential and a lot of people were looking forward to it, and it comes to us from the developer of one of my favourite artsy games, Contrast. In fact, I loved Contrast so much that it's actually on the cover of the book I published a few years ago. I spent a lot of time talking to the developers of the game, and I've been following the studio ever since. They're a talented bunch. Having now played We Happy Few myself, I wanted to do a video because I think in the criticism that the game has been receiving, a little something about its essence and core and most important theme has been lost. So much of the conversation that I've been seeing has been focused about the price of the game, the missing content, and the bugs that are in it. And there's a lot of perfectly functional commentary about all of that stuff, and I'd rather not talk about it myself. But just quickly, for the record, I don't mind paying full price for a game of this scale, even though it was originally pitched to be cheaper. I find the missing sandbox mode to be a bit amusing, given that the game has moved out of early access into full release. I don't know why they would do that and leave such a core gameplay mode out, but they have. And I am willing to tolerate bugs to enjoy the broader picture. I have always been like that. So for me, the bugs that are in We Happy Few haven't broken the game for me, and I've been able to enjoy it despite those occasional irritants. But yes, let's put all of that stuff aside because again, it has been covered in great depth by other outlets. And everybody already has their own opinions on it, and I'm not going to be able to sway anybody anyway, so let's just put all of that aside. What I did want to talk about with regards to We Happy Few is the game's themes, because in this regard, the game is thematically brilliant, and it deserves to be recognised as such. We Happy Few is a game about an English community that did something absolutely horrific back in World War II, and to cope with that, the community developed a drug that suppresses all memories and induces in its people an idyllic sense of bliss, a euphoria as such. That drug, which is called joy, and yes, that is a bit on the nose, is a mandatory thing for the people of this community to consume, and people who don't take that drug start to remember what actually happened, and those memories are deemed so subversive and dangerous that these people are hunted down by their community, and that is poignant. In fact, if there was any narrative concept that I could say is so downright essential in this era where nostalgic nationalism is very much in the process of rewriting history books, it is We Happy Fews. This is a game that wants to encourage players to challenge what they know about their societies and their history, and become aware that societies do have a habit of constructing false narratives in order to create a sense of unity within the community. Going further, that the utopia that is created by consuming this joy drug looks so much like the consumerist dream is also not a coincidence. The joy drug is a hallucinogenic effect that causes people to see colour and entertainment and brightness and joy wherever they go. Once the veil of joy drops, once people are off the medication, a dankly miserable life shows itself instead. Meanwhile, painted faces that are on every character are designed to look very much like the masquerade masks of yesteryear. Masquerade balls were themselves all about hiding reality behind a veil, and they were used by nobles of the time to indulge in decadence, gluttony, and lust at a period of time that was conservative enough that they could not include those vices in their day-to-day lives. It was an opportunity to remove themselves from reality as such. In We Happy Few, the distance between the joy-fueled fantasy and a dark reality is extreme and reinforces the game's critique of revisionism. The modern world has its own veils that obscure reality. If we're looking at World War II specifically, our Western world has an entertainment industry that has for decades obscured the horrific truths about that war by spinning them into this visceral sense of entertainment. Call of Duty, Saving Private Ryan, these films and games don't want you questioning the actions of the Allies in World War II. Historically, the Allies did plenty of messed up stuff themselves. Yes, the people they were fighting were horrific in themselves, but the Allies were not perfect. They were not completely innocent, and they were not necessarily the heroes that we see portrayed in these films and games. And we're not meant to talk about that, because these games and films want you walking away from the experience feeling good, or joyful if you will, about the heroism of those good guys. It's misrepresentative. It's fundamentally what We Happy Few is protesting through its own themes. And that is why We Happy Few is in an awkward spot. On the one hand, it has problems. Endlessly reportable problems. It's in fact impossible to have a conversation with somebody about the game's themes, which are not related to its structural problems, without its flaws being brought up. On the other hand, the game has a damned important story to tell, and is deserving of analysis independent of whether that game is particularly fun to play or not. Every so often I talk about whether a game needs to be fun to play in order to be worth playing, and this is one of the best examples that I've come across in quite some time. I'm not ignoring the flaws of We Happy Few when I say that it is a really good quality game. Not by any means. But I'm still saying you should play it because of those themes. If you want, perhaps wait a couple of months for the bugs to be fixed, because you just know that the intense criticism that Compulsion has been getting means that those bugs will be fixed. On top of that, you can expect the sandbox mode to come along and all of that kind of stuff. So what you're playing right now, or what people are playing right now, is probably not representative of what the end product will be. But whether you wait for it, or dive in now and wait for the patches, or dive in now and play it while you wait for things to get better, or just wait for the game for later on, you should still keep this on your radar and you should still play it, because it will make you think about how society is conditioning you to think about our history, and that is important. Thanks very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think in the comments about any of it. If you've been playing We Happy Few and want to talk about the themes, I'd love to have a chat with you, because I'm kind of getting tired about talking about the game's bugs and want to talk about this topic a bit more. So very keen to hear from you, but thank you very much for listening, and we will talk to you or see you at the next video.